Hello, Rick Cianfaglione sought me out to record, confess, demonstrate, confirm. People involved with intelligence community with him influenced him to identity theft, fraud, slanders with my neighbors, like a Leahy family and a Brian Silver. They put me in fake conversations with themselves too, into campuses, databases, and their roles with Hartford Hospital, the businesses and houses next to the work, criminal enterprises, private ones, pretending they're legitimately roles with intelligence. The news also has been putting fake transcripts with them. Multiple child abusers, leaders, and kids are involved with the people associated with the Cianfaglione family, involved with them with that. A Demoro and a Kalal said it has something to do with their roles planting evidences at the corner of the street on the principal child abuser's campus. An upskirt picture, up principal. I recorded involved with way worse. And drugs and medicines crimes with the kids. Identity theft, fraud, slanders. A whole bunch of people tied to medical corruption with leaders personally and professionally. Rick Cianfaglione said he has the daughter of a principal when I went to that school who was involved with a Kevin Harris, who's also one of the ones involved with identity theft fraud, trying to make it look like he had a conversation with me. And with people at Quinnipiac University, the same thing. And fake motivations for it. And their roles with proven child abusers, leaders, and kids, and more involved then and now. Interbranch have been switching and forging names with them. New Britain Superior Court has a bunch of people with this Brian Silver and other prosecutors and judges and their kids involved also personally and professionally with foreign and domestic medical families that have been putting fake transcripts in databases, refusing people to respond so they can go, oh, but this was recorded. They're putting fake recorded things, and then they're just preventing people's voices, and they're lying about their motivations. That's why you have to follow mandated law, get them on paper. Wethersfield police have been refusing to identify themselves legitimately. They have a bunch of people tied to a Kevin Dillon and Anna Dillon, and how she switches it to Annie. They also have a Bobby, men and women with the name Bobby, involved with the intelligence community with retired police chiefs and their roles with Elm Streets in Wethersfield and Rocky Hill and the corners of those streets, with people on my street involved with them with predicate acts and identity theft, fraud, slanders with the, and then using the right to lie where they don't have the right to lie. Get them on paper, one name and sequence. They have been using influencing the social media companies to collusions with the intelligence. And that, in other words, they're being extorted, tortured, and worse, in other words, but they have self-value roles with it because everyone's forced to speak through others. That's why you guys need to follow mandated law properly. They're refusing to identify themselves legitimately into branch and get onto paper because they recorded themselves attaching people. Investigators use remotely to cover up how they have collusions intercities. They fake conversations with people with the ones around them, and they ask people questions dishonestly. They don't even know about it. I don't even tell people about those things. You guys have a whole bunch of people tied to reports on the shooting of Greg Kyler. Even if it was made up, they have collusions with organized crime acts at the same time that we're involved, and the people involved, including a probation officer associated with Mike Oliver, and other boxing gyms have roles with the FBI Director Robert Luskin and his co-defendants and their family members involved with all kinds of identity theft, fraud, slanders with me against me, and with the people involved in my area with the intelligence, also at and next to the state corrections offices and judicial branch offices, with military, foreign, and domestic, and the names involved with Saudi attackers, with Wethersfield police attached me to fake conversations with themselves. And they stole them. I didn't have one word of conversation with them there. As an adult and as a kid, too. They pretended they had conversations with me through the news to hide how they pretended that into the databases when I was a kid. The kids who did go down there and speak with the Wethersfield police when I was a kid, they had collusions with overt criminal enterprises, private ones, and people who had roles with the World Trade Center attack leading up to it in the context interstates and internationally, and then since, and the roles next to campuses with the same house/S, with private school kids planting evidences, predicate acts on the public schools, collusions, all kinds of identity theft, fraud, slanders, all kinds of people on Ridge Road and conjunctions to it, like in all along Route 175 and conjunctions to it, like Ridge Road, are increasingly people involved with the Mazzucato family and people with other police departments and forms in courts. At corners of that street, like a Paul Kelly has Air Force people and other pilots all along Route 175 and conjunctions to it are different kinds of pilots involved with people at Trinity College and Zion Street next to it, with the same house/S involved intercities with some untimely deaths and child abusers and the police confessions. And they're forging and switching names. So they're confessing other than they pretend. They're communicating other than they pretend. And nature demonstrates things. It's different when they're communicating, not demonstrating when they say nothing. In other words, nature communicates there's a breaching method involved here. There are roles with all these different countries. And with my teachers behind my back, personally and professionally, they have roles with just having them repeat fake things. Get them the heck on paper. You guys are refusing to follow mandated law, criminally foreign influence readings of statutes and precedents and exceptions regarding the validity of what people say online. You guys have readings of statutes and precedents already. You guys had collusions with all sides of criminal and civil cases, the interbranch intelligence and news tied to them, putting the same sequence ships. That's used remotely. It's not by accident. You guys get away with pretending. That's debatable that the suburbs were tactically denatured and designed to unfold, only capable of having nature demonstrate with negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures. We're going to examine really why and how the PFAS forever chemicals in the fresh water and the entire ocean has reportedly mercury in it. You can't even use evidences of others because they sabotage that to keep the subject treatment everywhere they are, formal and other, a quality of fact treatment nature. You can't defend that and ourselves at the same time from what exploits that. At countries A through Z, there's another breaching method involved. We can observe this. But you guys have sense and sensibilities, subject treatments, your differences treatments. Well, I'm an expert. Get the heck on paper. Get the heck on paper. Please. Judge Napolitano, since before he left Fox Connecticut News, they have Fox News, Fox Connecticut News, and CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, their sources. They have all kinds of collusions and uses of self-value roles, reuses of the faked information that they show to judges and with them and their delusions. With that, we can clear. I can help heal their delusions. I'm not even a doctor. Their delusions wrought too. The experts on reason and as the ones with badges too. We're going to examine their roles with organized crimes next to Harvard Hospital and other campuses with the same ones, intercities involved with them with that. Get the heck on paper with the Westfield Police. Get them on paper. One name.